The reason why we were really excited to work with Milka when the opportunity happened for us is because for us, we work for Ogilvy, and the founder, David Ogilvy, in 1984, left his position as a copywriter in another agency to start his own because he felt that advertising should be about improving people's lives and not just interrupting it. So, we always feel like the work that we come from, we always try to see how we can really like start conversations and improve lives. And for us, Milka is really interesting because in 1925, Philippe Souchard started Milka because he wanted to make the world a better place. When he started making Milka, you could only buy chocolate in pharmacies. It was actually regulated like medicine, and he was one of the first people ever to start making it at home and selling it to bring it into stores. So he's actually one of the first people who like liberated chocolate. And for us, back in 2020, we had an opportunity to pitch and win Milka. So we actually finally got these two like empathic thinkers working together.
Exactly. But the case we're showing today is not only Ogilvy, because for Milka, we did a very special agency setup. It's a WPP All Stars construct, which consists of many Ogilvy and Ogilvy related agencies, also so Ingo and David, obviously, from media to production. And we all together are ones. And the aim of our setup is to outsource creative excellence. So we take, it's an open source creative model. We take the agency that is best creatively for the task at hand, and we combine agencies work fluently together, and we have a central team at Ogilvy Berlin that leads account and strategy, and that also hosts our leadership team, obviously. So that's why you're going to see now what we've done is Milka with the WPP All Stars team. Our aim was making the world a little more tender, which not only is a digital campaign, but what we want to focus on is the digital execution of it, because that was the core of the campaign that got our aim to really reconnecting with millennials again for the brand. But I'll give Matt a second to give a bit of a setup before we jump into our framework.
Cool. Thanks a lot. So for us, when we were told by Milka that they really wanted to engage up and coming generations because it is an old brand, a legacy brand, sometimes they need to adjust in order to bring more people in. For us, we knew that the idea to make the world feel more tender couldn't come at a better time, because when we looked at everything that is facing the younger generations, a lot of it feels really dark. There's a lot of tensions about climate, about Europe, about is AI going to take our jobs, internet trolls, the shaking up in political systems, even people arguing whether or not a dress is black and blue or gold and white, became this kind of constant fight for people to try and like win over each other, and the internet can only ever exaggerate those feelings. So for us, we knew that the need for empathy is greater than ever. So the first thing we did is that we actually took Milka's essential proposition of what it means to be tender, and we actually changed it and gave itself a new platform which we called Tender Tastes Better. And for us, there was this dual image of both the fact that Milka tastes better because they put tenderness into it, but also the inherent tenderness of Milka when you have it can make life taste better. And the first thing we did was just transform the bar in order to introduce this new idea where we took the classic Milka chunk and actually turned each chunk of Milka into its own kind of emoji, its own bit of messaging, so people could actually start to immediately play with the brand idea and play with the brand messaging and start to do it in their own image, exactly what our younger audience wanted, the ability to take the idea and recreate it themselves and put themselves into it rather than just being talked to. And for us, this was really cool. We made a huge amount of these bars. It was one of the biggest brand transformations that Milka has ever done. Literally had to take one of the machines apart and put it back together again in order to make all these little chunks. But it was super successful. We made 50 million bars and they were all sold and really loved. But for us, that was just the start of this, because as soon as we had this new language, our kind of chocolatey language, it became our weapon against the most untender place in the world, which is, as we all know, social media. Absolutely so easy to get into, like doom scrolls and fights and terrible posts and all this kind of thing. So again, we thought if we can prove that we can tenderize the internet, then we've proven that our message is not only valid, but can really help people. So for us, we basically kind of made our chocolate into a social toolkit, and using Instagram, we made each piece its own bit of stickers, so people could literally kind of readapt any bad sentence and turn it on its head. And using our positivity and our positive language, we can change what is being said and then repost and basically kind of like take the internet, change it, wash it, and then bring it back out again. And again, this is something that once we gave people the tools in order to do this, it became really, really big. And we only had to do a few for people to really understand what it was about and get into posting themselves and just doing their own kind of tendification of all the messages they were seeing.
Exactly. So I think the beauty of this and what we together with the client, why our heart is so close, is because it puts the product also at the center. But really the bar and the chunk, they become the enhancer or the engagement for being more tender. But obviously this was not enough for us. So we wanted something else to reach the masses, but with a very personal touch, because tenderness is something that is one-to-one. It's not you do it one to the masses, it's you do it one-to-one. So we developed a personalization framework that is called empathy at scale. And empathy at scale is about connecting you as an individual with a brand that is right for you, that fits your values, but then also that is at the right moment for you. So whenever it fits the moment, the type of communication you want to have, it just fits together. And what we've done is we've looked at the harshest moments that are out there and that we face every day. And together with Google and Facebook in our so-called empathy jam, we figured out the top 30 moments during the day where untenderness happens most. And we've rated these moments and we figured them out. And we just found 30 that are so persistent, that happen so many times, that we thought if we have the chance to tenderize these moments, we can just make the world a bit more of a tender place. And if you click to the next slide, Matt, you see it a bit here. So what we've done, we've had the day broken down into pieces from waking up to going to bed, personal life, online and offline. And we looked at these moments, and for all of these moments, based on data signals, based on targeting, we produced individual assets. There's a few examples now coming, for example, from commuting. So instead of staring at your phone, offering your seat, or working from home, that you don't check your emails on a Sunday, rather call your mother on a Sunday evening. From hobbies, like instead of racing together, let's cheer on each other. So reducing competitiveness, using very simple and small moments that we can easily tenderize to make the internet a bit more of a positive place. For us, it was important that with this, we could really target many people with very personal variation. So it was really targeted to them. One other thing we did, because we thought that was not enough yet for us, we looked at what are other triggers that make us behave in an untender way. And we found out through research also that weather conditions have big impact on us and how we behave. And given this campaign launched in Q1 in more than 35 markets in Europe, we thought, okay, weather is something that is across all of this. And if you click one more, Matt, you see that we really looked at what happens, and this is a Germany example. We looked at what kind of weather condition, from feeling sad when it rains to really calling with friends when it rains, and really taking that untender weather condition, the behavior that results in it, and making it something positive in the end. So this was done by a dynamic targeted ads, and they were controlled 24 hours a day via an automated API, so that really no matter when the weather changed, we could automatically trigger them. We didn't stop there. We went one step further into pop culture also. And we had a live editing team. And with that live editing team, we looked at pop cultural moments and had direct response to it. So I think here we have the example of when The Weeknd played the Super Bowl. So people found it was very discussed as a performance, or The Bachelor, instead of encouraging harshness on The Bachelor, rather encouraging love. So we had a live editing team for approximately 2 months as a trial in Germany. And from there, we really took it and had a look at how we can tenderize even these pop cultural moments. That said, I think I'm just going to quickly wrap up on success factors. We were successfully able to reconnect with millennials, having a positive impact on penetration, ad recall, and interest,